Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of Open Mic. I do apologise that tonight we're going on a Sunday, which is Easter Sunday. So happy Easter to everyone, and apologise that it wasn't yesterday. But I was out of town yesterday, unfortunately, so there's not much I could do, unfortunately. Tonight we are going to talk about lower levels. We're going to talk about the balance of the game a little bit, and maybe how the game is for people at a lower level. You know, I know we seem to be a show that sometimes does talk a lot about higher end tech, and you know, and I think the game is at a stage where it is fairly easy for us at higher levels. But for lower levels, I think for lower to mid levels and non-coiners, I think it's a different game entirely, and maybe it's a perspective that I don't have a full insight into. I certainly have opinions on it. So tonight I thought we could spend some time talking about this, and maybe I'll have some questions I'll throw at people at random as well. So does anyone want to have any kind of topic they want to open up with regarding that, or anyone want to jump in with something?
I think of the levels that lower levels can be hit by us big guys, that needs to change in a big way. Because I'm a level 107 player and I can hit a level 50. Now, why would a level 50 keep playing?
That's the only level you hit, Monster, isn't it?
But why would he keep playing if all I did was smash his baseline?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I fully agree. I mean, the level cap was something that. It used to be 5 up, 5 down all the time, didn't it? And then when we changed to the new level system, it went from originally it was 40 plus, wasn't it? And then it jumped to 50 plus.
Yeah.
I'll be quite honest with you. I think it should be 70 plus. I think it should be 70 plus, and then below that should be the same level cap that the lower levels use, because the game's evolved at such an extent now that we're miles away from level 50s now.
Yeah, but if they do that, can you imagine how mouthy the level 60s and 65s and blah, blah, blah are going to get to you when they know that you can't hit them?
Mm. Yeah, it is a question of balance, but I still think 50 is too low. I mean, the guys at level 50 are barely fresh out of the water. You know, it's a difficult level to be playing with a big fish, I think. Sorry, Wendy, I'm going to have to meet you there. I don't know if there's an issue with your mic, but you sounded like a chipmunk there, unfortunately. It must be something at your end with your
that was funny.
internal mic. But it sounded very high pitched, and I may be able to slow that down by 100 and break it down and hear it. But,
it's like a raid video gone wrong.
No, it's probably because you're using your internal mic and not a headset, and that's the problem there, Wendy. But I do apologise, but we couldn't make out a word there, unfortunately.
She's laughing now.
Yeah, no worries. Anyone else? Come on, lower levels.
Okay, so when I was a lower level, I was still in the 40s when that level cap came out, and I remember immediately getting smashed by multiple 70 pluses, and then they raised it up to 50, and the second I hit 50, I regretted it again. So it's kind of like that. There should be a balance to it, and yeah, like the 70 that you suggested, that's a great idea. Like, because between 70 and 100 is when the game starts to get more complex for other players.
Yeah, I mean, I never experienced that, because when the game, I mean, back in the early days of the game, like level 33 was extremely high, and then level 36, I think I was level 36 when they changed it to the new level scheme. So the second it changed over, I think I went from 36, I went to 66. So I never ever got to experience that level cap system. So I have no way of relating to it, but I can only think that it would be hell to be at low level.
Oh, it is.
Lucy, what are you laughing at?
I didn't mind being a low level, to tell you the truth. I mean, if I'm a level 50 and I'm only getting hit by other level 50s or 55s, say, I don't see much happening that's going to teach me how to improve my base, right? I mean, I think a base gets strong by getting hit by stronger players, right? I mean, you get hit by a stronger player, they get in, you see how they get in, and you try and make adjustments to stop them from getting in with that fleet again. You know, and I don't think there's as much scope for that to happen when you're getting hit by someone 5 levels either way.
Well, I know one thing that was mentioned a while back, and I just wonder. I'm going to say it, right? Don't shout, right? But how about a system? Now, this is not something I'm suggesting. This is something I've read. But how about a system where your ability, your range of hitting, your scope of what you can hit, is based around your OP level? So everyone with OP8 can only hit other players with OP8. Everyone with OP7 can only hit other players with OP7.
No, that would restrict the game too much because not everyone can. Oh well, not no. My answer still no. I think that's a bad idea.
I think that might actually engender the same problem because the OP is the most important single building to upgrade in your base, and a lot of people would probably just go for it, straight away, and just even upgrade your other tech high enough. You need the OP level to be high, so like if you are upgrading a turret to the next level because you just got your OP up, you're down a turret. In addition, back to the point about being hit as a level 50, like I've played a bunch of different kinds of games with PvP, so I kind of understand that it's part of the game. The bad news with this is that your research and repairs and such all get frozen until you can come back on, except for the dock, which they did just now. So if it was easily recoverable, like I play another game, and if I get hit when I'm offline, I can literally come back on, press a button, and right then I can go back to playing, and there's no loss in anything. I lose a bit of in-game currency because I have to repair, but it's pretty trivial, and you're right back into the action. The downtime is very low. Here the downtime is very high, especially if you have work or you're going to bed and you just got hit and you're stopped by that much longer. I think if they were to reduce the downtime, like if your research and stuff kept going, or your building, kept going, or reduce the repair times on buildings to lower the downtime, then it would be a lot easier.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Brian. It's something. Wendy made a slight typo.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
I heard a laugh, and I knew not to look outside of the range of this view.
We weren't laughing at you, Brian.
I would see it and start laughing.
I think that's a very good point. No, Wendy was describing something about the dock there, and had a little bit of a typo with
our weekly phrasing error, I believe. It just happens.
It's okay, Wendy.
You win the award. Good job.
No,
All right, Wendy.
No, I fully agree with.
I love when mine auto repairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one of those auto repairing docks for myself because mine doesn't auto repair at all. So.
Well, you can take something for that now. I hear they have supplements for that. So.
Right. This is that's thrown me a little bit. Right. Let's try and get back on target.
Okay.
Back, everyone focus.
Levels.
Okay.
Levels and raids, oh my.
Okay, Lucy.
Mhm.
Lucy.
Yes.
What is currently your best fleet?
My best fleet
Be honest, it doesn't matter.
is fully built as Gore Sabres. However, I have 2 Rhinos now fully built.
Okay. Now I'm gonna keep going.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I'm going to direct a couple of questions at you now, and I'll tell you why I'm targeting them at you specifically after you've answered them.
Okay.
Yeah. So your currently your best fleet is Gore Sabres, and
Yes.
you're trying to build Rhinos.
I'm trying to build Rhinos.
Okay. What are you currently struggling with the most in the game?
The raid, the weeklies, trying to get uranium, everything.
You're struggling to do your chores, then, is what you're saying. Your general needs.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't just be that though, would it? It'd be hitting bases as well, and PvP would still.
Well, I can't remember the last time I hit someone's fleet.
So really, all aspects of the game she's struggling at.
So just now, I'm basically there's no game for me just now. Like, if that makes sense. What I'm doing just now is like trying to get things to do, like the chores. So to do my weeklies, all my time is focused on doing that. That I don't have time to get my alliance points. I don't go out and help the alliance because I don't have the fleets to do it. So
even just filling up on res is an issue for you right now.
That's because everyone keeps tagging my fleets.
Well, your fleet. You mean your fleet?
Well, no, I've got like my res haulers. Like I've got my wee super fortresses and stuff.
Okay, and what would you say would help you the most? From a Kickstarter's perspective, what do you think that they would do that would benefit you the most as a player?
If I say free coins, does that count?
No, it doesn't count at all.
I don't know. I think that's something that.
Be realistic.
What would help me in the game? Example, the new EP4 came out, and then everything else came out with that. So for me, I haven't even started upgrading anything yet because I'm too busy doing other stuff, I'm catching up from other stuff that's come out. So I think for me, like slowly releasing things would be great because we had OP7 not that long ago. So slowly releasing things, less res to do stuff. This is me just being bitchy just now, but seriously, like for me, getting res is a nightmare. It's easier for guys that are high levels. They can just go in a base, kill the base, they get 500%. For me, it's having to sit and I don't even open res anymore because Monster does it for me. But it's just sitting trying to gather res. It takes time. But
the thing is, I mean, you took what 4 or 5 months away from the game, and then you come back to the game, and the game's changed to such an extent that you no longer have the ability to do anything. Yeah. And I'm not insulting you, but I'm trying to, because I go into your base and help you and do some stuff for you when you're away and that. You know, you can't do weeklies. You can't do raids. No. You can't even think about campaigns. You certainly can't think about uranium mines and dub bases. And the only option for you is to say, right, I've got to build myself a fleet that I can do my weekly chores with so I can catch up. Now, your first go-to option for that is rhinos because that's with what you've got available. And they're, 20 days a ship?
And I think the build you done me was about that, yeah.
And that's just for the free. That's just free rhinos. That's not included in the tank or anything else you put in there. No. See, I think Kickstarter have done some positive things in recent times with the Centurions and with the Citadels because I believe that they've released something that can do raids there, which is quite cheap to build, and they've released something that can do in-game content, which is quite cheap to build. But what they're lacking, and this is another part of the lower level stuff, is they're lacking something in the middle line. I think they're lacking a rhino that can be built in 12 days. To do they need a middle ground fleet, a workhorse fleet that can do weeklies for cheap and be built a whole fleet in 1 month, like these last couple of months have been. I think that's a big gap in the game there.
See, Punishers are one of them fleets, though. But that's about you're gonna have to try and get them. If you didn't pick them up already, you're gonna have to try and get them in the whole store.
Yeah, you have to earn those.
But the issue is trying to get the points to even get that fleet. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that I was in an alliance, if I wasn't in an alliance, I would have got like nothing from the last raids. It's the fact that the good thing in the raids is that you can have alliance members helping you by prepping stuff down, and you've got that option there. But what about the lower levels that don't have an alliance, that are having to sit and grind to try and get something that's too high, the points, and the targets are given out too little?
And now this is my specialty. First off, Lucy, what do you have on your Gore Sabers? What weapons are you using?
Rockets.
She's using the rockets that came out with the Gore Sabers.
Hold on, I'll go and look at
Dragonfire.
Dragonfire.
The heavy ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
good.
Okay.
And I think actually one of the biggest issues a while back, they had the Crusader and the Arbalest, and as a lot of us might remember, instead of messing with that, they decided to build the game around it and make that the new normal. But I think one of the big problems is they didn't bring the level of either researchable or easy to acquire tech in line such that there would be an appropriate percentage behind, I guess you could say. Like the researchable and the easy to acquire tech is so far behind Crusaders and Arbalests even back then, and even now with your Punishers, your Centurions. First off, who's going to get them? The points for those is just increasing and increasing with every single raid. So even if you were to try to catch up, you might not be able to because of the limitations of your tech. Even, I guess, hitting B's hailstorms aren't enough. You need to spend your raid points to get the tech to equip the Gales to, in the next raid, do better and get the tech. And then there's rockets, something, specific compositions. It doesn't matter. It's too hard to get, basically, these new hulls. And even then, just the tech that you have available isn't good enough anymore. It's not progressing with the times on the low end.
Well, I mean, another thing as well. I mean, if Lucy, you took a gap in the game and then you've come back to the game looking to catch up, and you're finding it very difficult. Now, imagine what it'd be like. I mean, I would say that you've got obviously time and a head start on most of the lower levels, and if you're finding it difficult, then how fucking hard must they be finding it? Do you know what I mean? To stay competitive, to stay current. I've got one more question for you, Lucy, which I don't want to confuse you. Don't have a blonde moment here, all right? Try and stay with me on this one, right? When you make a strategic decision, and by that I mean a fleet build, a base layout, something like that, do you feel that the game provides enough clear information for you to make a good decision on your own?
No.
No.
Dude, I'm a 92 and I don't think that.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I remember when I was a low level, there was all these little videos that, when I first started, there was like these videos showing you what to do. Do you remember them?
Well, this is another part of the question. So I would say, how would you feel Kixeye could help you in that area if you felt that there wasn't enough clear information?
I don't know. It's so difficult because, like, they could suggest fleet builds. I don't know, because you've got all these pages. You've got us that do that, and you've got other pages that have these help guides in the game. So that's where I go for information, or I just ask you.
Well, the problem, I agree with what David said. I mean, I'm just about to turn level 99. Hey, level 99. But anyway,
he is so excited for this. He's been going on about this for weeks.
Never level up again. Leave it at 99, mate.
But anyway, yeah. So I find that there isn't. I mean, so much can be said for your experience in the game, but the thing is, sometimes items don't work as they're labeled to work, especially new items.
No.
You never really know what you're getting yourself in for until you actually build it and try it out. And
So you have to
not
wait.
just that, mate. Not just that, but a lot of the time there's a distinct lack of information, right? I mean, for instance, real good example. What is the minimum pass-through damage? Why can I not know that?
Unreactive.
Is it a percentage? Is it a percentage based on the weapon type that's being used and the damage it does? Is it a flat number no matter what weapon it is? These are all things that are very, very important when making a strategic decision to know, right? Because if a particular weapon is going to give me a higher minimum pass-through damage, then I might want to use that over another weapon that gives me a lower minimum pass-through damage.
I'm not so sure.
I can't make that decision without having the information, and there's lots of things like that in the game.
I'm not so sure that's for lower levels specifically, although I do agree. I think TSM piped up with unreactive. That's big.
If you want deflection holes, if everyone's saying lower levels need to have a deflection hole, then these are things you're going to need to know, because it becomes extremely relevant when you're fighting other people who have deflection holes.
I think they should maybe have like on forums, even have like weekly or whatever they do, like a special little video or a special forum post that has, okay, so here's the chosen ship of the week, it's the Dreadnought, and here's different builds for different things that you can do with it. And
what about a toy box then? What about the same sort of thing? The raids, quarterly then, when the raid comes out, you can actually just get to a certain level, click on it, I've got it, and there's a toy box raid of the average fleet that most people have used over the last 6 months. So it's already there. You just click on it, you win it, and it's built. It's done. But it took you 4 million points to get to it.
Yeah, so something that you could click, and it would go on your shipyard, you mean?
All made, yeah, all done. All
yeah,
made, all
and
ready,
then
you can
that
sell
would
it.
be it just built. You
just
wouldn't
sell
have to sit. Yeah, that'd be good. You wouldn't have to sit and look
Last
for
year's tech or last
things
6 months'
and-
tech, but it's there for you.
Yeah.
You mean like a pre-selected layout?
Yeah.
Uh,
In
pre-
the
so for example-
shipyard.
So you could basically in your shipyard you could click a button that maybe would say kick size suggestion on this
Bit of a toy
hole.
box. Yeah.
Yeah, and it would fill it up for you.
Yeah, all done.
Well, and you know, and why not? Why doesn't Kickside get more players more involved? You know, why do there's this barrier between us still seem to lie there? You know, I mean, Kickside could have a group of experienced players. You know, players that maybe aren't quite as public. You know, players that just sit in the background and are there as kind of tech support in the forums, helping people out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there's
Yeah, a
so
lot of
many
people
different
don't
things
like
they could do.
Post in the forums, like a lot of people don't like it. People
I don't
just
like the forums.
You post in the forums all the time.
I don't like the forum. I've only started posting the forums because of this show, because I actually find the forums quite an uncomfortable place.
It's not that. They're just so difficult to navigate and click. Like, I get so lost in all the comments and stuff. Like, it's difficult. I don't like the forums at all. It's just, yeah. But, I mean, if there was something, like, they posted something or they had a wee toolbox in the actual game that you could click on and there was stuff there, suggesting builds, etc., that would be great.
Well, they could do that. They could do like some sort of a boot camp thing, whereas like 1 week they do a vid, or they give a campaign out to lower guys with a tie box, like, and say, right, this fleet will do that. Now go and try it out, like, or give them like little hints and tips, like.
Didn't they used to have a thing where, for certain holes, while in your shipyard, they'd have a scrolling bar of text along the bottom that was like, "Hey, you should put cannons on this," or something. Do they still do that?
They still do that.
I mean, there is still a help button where you can click Swag's videos that are like 4 years old. You know.
Oh, I love that.
I do like TSM said a comment there, and I just missed it. I think. Let me just see if I can get that again.
It wasn't TSM. I think it was John.
It was John, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, trial and error is a comment you made there, Mark.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
The thing is with that trial and error, and the reason I want to pick up on that is trial and error is a very expensive business.
And that's what they want.
Let me tell you that I'm on my first Citadel layout and I'm still unhappy with it. And that's not cheap. You know, the last refit was 2,000 coin. The refit before that, the initial build was very expensive, and then there was about an 800 coin refit to change that straight away as soon as I built it. And then I refitted it again recently, which was 2,000 coin, and I'm still not happy with it. I'm still probably going to change it.
Which is a no hope for anybody that's a non-coiner.
Well, that's a lot of money. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So
a lot of days wasted.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you know, and I would like to say, I wouldn't say I'm an expert when it comes to building fleets, but I'd like to say that I feel that I'm okay at it. And if I can't get it right, and if I need to do it 3 or 4 times, you know, I mean, that's most people probably wouldn't go to do it again, is what I'm saying. If someone coined a fleet, they'd just be like, look, I can't afford to change that fleet. That fleet's just going to have to stay.
Here's my thing. The most recent fleet I coined was my Centurions, so I could go into the Drek U bases. The fact that I had to very carefully put that build together and like go through a lot of trial and error with people on forums and on Facebook pages and stuff, and the fact that I had to worry about, hey, should I build this with time or with coins? And if I build it wrong with coins, I'm going to pay drastically for this. And that's a problem because, I mean, build times are way too high and it's way too much risk to mess something up.
Well, I feel that the game BP would be a lot better if they lean towards Vega Conflict's method. And that is, you know, making ships a lengthy build time and refits under a day. I would gladly muck up 12 days a ship per ship if I could do all the refits on it under a day. And I don't think there would be that many people that would grumble in the BP community if ships got longer and refit times became much less. And I know they've already become a lot less, but I would like to see, because of the way the game is, because of the way tech changes in the game, because of the way, you know, a month down the line something else comes out and you need to refit it. If the initial, that's where they should sting us, is on the initial build of the hull. Once you've got the hull built, the refit shouldn't be more than the whole build time, in my opinion.
Well, it's like you said the other day, Liam. It was cheaper for you to build a whole new fleet of Zoes than to refit a Rhino fleet with like you had built. I mean, that's just stupid.
It was, yeah. It was cheaper because my rhinos are very outdated, which is what Monster's talking about there.
Did David not have? Did Insector not have that as well? He was.
Yeah, I was just going to say, me and
Yeah.
Monster had that same problem. We were talking last week, Monster, remember, about launcher punishers.
It was actually a top
And it was going to be cheaper to just build a new launcher punisher than it would be to refit my U-base punishers.
Which means
it would actually be cheaper just to build a new fleet altogether.
Yeah, and that's where I was with my rhinos. I wanted to build Zoe rhinos, or at least refit my old rhinos so they were current, because they're not current at the moment. So it's costing me that little bit more to do my everyday things with it. And it worked out that it would be cheaper to build Zoe's rhinos than it would be to refit current rhinos, and that was quite a sad state of affairs, I felt. Okay, guys. So, anyone else want to pick up on any more topics in this lower level stuff? I'm sure there's so many more things we could be discussing.
I've got one thing from the chat, and that's Carl. He said that, which everyone's always said there, if you built something and you put it on there, it should go back into a box, and then basically because you built it once, you can just add it to another ship and not have to do any time at all for it because you've already built it.
I think
you own it.
You mean like a materials vault? Almost.
Yeah, like a materials vault. So if you've built Siege V cannon, missiles at some stage earlier on, and all of a sudden you want to use 5 of those Siege V missiles again, well, you built them once. It took you 5 hours each one. They get dropped into some vault somewhere, and you can retrieve them again and just drop them onto another ship.
That's a great idea. Like reusing those weapons.
I just feel that if Kickside corrected the refit costs, because this is for me, it's the component costs. That for me is the major hack. I feel that everything else has been done right over the last few months, and the game is so much. It's a better place than the game has been in 4 years, in my opinion. But I think unless they correct the refit cost, I don't know if I just feel that if they could get it right, and if they could make refits a couple of days max as a cap for them, I feel BP would be absolutely perfect as a game. I don't see flaws in any areas, but then again, my view is obviously going to be very different from others. But for me, that is the biggest thing in the game.
Well, it would help smaller guys as well, because like they might have, say, thuds on some BCs, and then the next campaign they need to change it to missiles, mate. So if it was cheaper to refit them, then it would help them out more as well, like.
I mean, what about the introduction of a refit token that gives you a complete refit?
Yeah. But then you've got to win it.
You got to spend, and you got to. Oh, what do you mean, win or spend it? Because either way, win or spend it, win or buy it, like.
Unless you can only win it if you're a low level, below 60.
Like if there was low campaigns that you could. I've had an idea, like campaigns that are for people. No, but then again, right. This is what I'm trying to say, and I can't say it. But see, people, like for me, I'm an 80 something. I think I'm an 82, right? But I'm really like a 60. Like, so for everyone's branding low levels just now is if they're like 15 below. Like low levels are. I know that low levels, that concept is like 15 below, but I'm technically a low level because I have.
Everything you have is
low tech level. Low tech level.
Yeah. So even if I was going to suggest that we could do like campaigns for low levels that you can only do up to a certain level, but that still wouldn't help people in my position.
Maybe that's based on then the fleet size that's going in.
Yeah. So if there was something based on like what fleets you have.
You can't. Is it with a level 45 fleet or above?
Yeah, something like that was in like a campaign system where you could win these tokens to speed up your ships, to speed up everything else. That would be awesome.
You know, to me, the easiest way to fix the refit problem is just stop making us pay to take components off. You know,
I'm not even sure that would be enough, David. I'm not even sure.
Well, that's how it is in Vega. That's exactly how it is in Vega. You don't pay anything to remove components. You only pay to put components on. I can take everything off a ship, and it costs me nothing.
Yeah, but then you could still be looking at 6 days just to put armor on your ship. See, I think that if we could get the game to a point where a new hull could be anything between 8 and 14 days for the hull, right? But then the components you put on it are sort of 24 to 48 hours permanently, forever. The refits, you know. So if you wanted, if next raid, you know, you knew that you needed something, you could just refit that fleet in the week leading up to it.
Yeah, I don't see them doing that though, because you're chopping massively into their income.
Yeah.
But you can increase it with the increase of the ship hull build times themselves, is what I'm saying.
Have you guys noticed at all the time that goes into building, say, like D5E on a ship?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I can go to D4E in like a day and a half maybe, but if I refit to a D5E, it takes me a week for one.
A week?
A week?
What?
Yeah, it was like a week. Hold on.
Shouldn't
Hold
take
on.
a week.
Yeah, that
I'm
doesn't
gonna-
sound right. That doesn't sound right.
D5E is 1 day,
What do you mean?
16 hours.
So it shouldn't.
One day 22.
Yeah,
It shouldn't be much over a couple of days for that refit.
Yeah, hold on.
But does it mean a week to replace all of them? Say,
My
Yeah.
mistake. Hold on.
say
I'll
if
look.
there's 5 slabs, like.
Well, if they continue with what they've been doing for every raid, where they've basically took a selection of items relevant to the whole coming out and they've slashed the build time, if they can continue doing that for the next 6 months, then we might see refits drop a hell of a lot. It's been great to see the tech needed for Centurions to drop. It was great to see the tech needed for Citadels to drop, but they're not workhorse fleets. Like they're not like that desperate fleet that Lucy needs to get built. Rhinos, you know, 20 days a ship. She needs that fleet to be able to do her raids, to do her weeklies, to collect uranium, and there's no other real options for her. And so she's got to jack in 60 days.
See,
and in 60 days, that's 2 months. So the game she'll be outdated again then.
I think refits have gotten a lot better recently. It's
They
funny
have.
enough. You know, with all the adjustments that they've made on stuff, the stuff that they've adjusted to refit that is a lot quicker. Do you know what I mean? Like all the stuff that they just recently rebalanced over the last few months. Any of that, like for instance the D5R. Right, that's not that long a refit now that they've rebalanced it. You know, what I'd like to see is them to do that with everything. Do you know what I mean? And that would solve the problem for me personally, right? I mean, because compared to what it was, I mean, I'm saving a day per armor plate nearly. Do you know what I mean? That's quite a substantial amount to be saving. Now, if they did that across the board on all the level 5 armors, my refits wouldn't be that bad.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
So
What they need is a tech raid. A raid which is just pure tech. But then the sets, the A sets and the B sets and the C sets, they have to have more points because the lower guys' points are just shocking.
Mm-hmm.
especially in this cycle, there are too many mortars for a lower tech person to be prepared for, and even if you could conceivably do so, you're wasting a lot of your overall fleet weight and ship weight on hail seeds because I'm assuming you don't have gales, or just weapon slots in general. You have to put so much toward defense that your offense is so low, and then the frostbites that you can't deal with will eat you alive, and that's not fun. That's bad design.
Okay, I've got a question for you all then, right? So I'm a level 60 player. I have MCXs, I have SCXs, I have relatively mediocre fleets, you know, middle range fleets. I want to hit tier 4 every week. How am I going to do it?
V2H.
V2H, which is available in campaigns.
Yep, V2H and T3 Tech. My lad does it all the time. He hits T4 twice a week now. He's getting there now. He will next week get the new turret, and he's the only fleet he's got. He's got a V2H fleet, and he's got Kudas. That's it. And he mini long pinch on the 2 Wendigo turrets, and he zips around the outside, pinches both turrets, goes through, cleans the middle out.
How much does he pay for each target?
I recommended the same thing to
He does 4 targets one day, fixes overnight, 4 targets next day, reset, and crack on.
I recommended the same thing to G Daddy and gave.
I put the build on a few times on the page, I think, and he's a happy lad. He gets his kit now with one fleet, and can hit the 40.
What's the build time? What's the build time?
Hang on, let me see if I can find it.
I don't think it's too bad.
It's not. I posted it somewhere on a page because he was really depressed and that sort of stuff, and we worked on something, and then it just seemed to come together.
Can I add something in that Wendy, obviously
let's just say that I don't have all you guys available to tell me what to build. You know.
Liam, can you not interrupt me? Wendy,
Sorry,
I was
a little bit.
Yeah, did no one else hear that? I was trying to speak, and he's like, Right. Wendy's mic isn't working, so she said, I think that we all have the problem that the low levels are having is they're giving out new stuff that's way better too fast. So when we're building the stuff, it's outdated already.
Yeah, got you.
Well, so I just want to add that in because Wendy was saying that there, but obviously our mic isn't working.
I'm trying to find the build because I left his with all the basic stuff that's either T3 or it's actually researchable tech through the basic sort of stuff, like the bits you can get from the reserve the res fleets up on the sea sort of stuff.
The current
nothing special at all.
The current topic is also sliding.
Well, what I want to know is how can Kixeye educate their players in better? How can obviously BP is a community-based game. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that go into Facebook pages and we all talk and we share builds and most alliances have build pages. So that's great, but there's a lot of people that don't have access to those kind of features. There's some people that don't like Facebook. There's some people that are very unsociable. They just prefer to play on their own.
In game, then, if there's things we already said this earlier. If there's something in game,
a worthwhile in-game pop-up.
Yeah, and I can pop up.
Well, why don't they work with some players? Why don't they get some players, put them into a test server, give them a bunch of free gold, and tell them to, each test server, well, we want you to build a fleet with no higher than this level tier tech that can do this, and then video it and put out a video that people can access.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that might be one of the things that is kind of off about the preview server, because I feel a lot of the people in preview servers, which are meant to preview the raid targets, they'll try to build the best and test stuff. And yeah, that's the point. That's definitely one of the points. But I don't feel like a lot of players build Mercuries and Siege Z's or whatever, just like the lower stuff. Also, to jump back a sec, Trinidad a while back in the chat posted a point that went very well. Lower levels need to think more about building FM fleets and for the raid rather than PvP to focus on PvE. That's definitely a good point. We kind of moved past that. Also, read 20-day Rhino build times. I don't coin, so one of the important factors that I use in choosing tech is the build time. I don't always like it. It gets me kicked in a little more, than I'd like, but that's one of the trade-offs, and I think, D2s, D3s, those are very good as well. They're a lot shorter build time that might be able to get your fleets out of the door a little quicker. Now, to this topic, front-loading information, they could do a lot better. I feel a little video about each basic weapon type, a little bit about cannons, a little bit about missiles, a little bit about mortars, a little bit about rockets, and maybe links to some pages that were done either by the community or done internally and verified by the community about just general best practices in shipbuilding. That's a topic that I kind of want to cover in a future open mic, whatever. It's just shipbuilding 101 for the lower players or the newer players or the players that don't feel comfortable building ships, just general tips to help them, because there's not a whole lot. Like, you can look at fleets, you can look at hulls and maybe their retrofits and then say, oh, I guess I need missiles here, but after that you might kind of lose the plot, and if even that's not there, then what do you build? A lot of the new players are just left in the dark. I think front-loading information could be done a lot better.
Yeah, but that's what Kinks should be doing, mate. They should put up vids of stuff like
this.
Okay. I've got another thing I want to throw at you all for your opinions on it. How about if Kixeye did something like maybe a campaign, or maybe they introduced a new feature where you could win holes that were already built. You could win. Let's just say that there was a campaign and if you did that campaign 5 times, you would, for example, win 5 V2Hs. And
It's never going to happen, though.
That were already built.
They're not
That
gonna
could
do
do
that, mate.
weeklies. That could do the weeklies.
They're not
It's
going
never
to
gonna
do that,
happen.
mate. They're not going to do that. They're not just going to give you a free, fully built, up-to-date fleet because I mean, if they did that, what's your motivation to coin anything?
But a tried and tested fleet. Maybe a tried and tested. Well, I'm not talking about high-end tech, like completely end-game tech.
What's your motivation then to spend any money?
Maybe it's slightly like
I just
unfinished
don't see them ever doing that. I've got to be honest. I think hell will freeze over before they will give you a full fleet from a campaign, fully built and ready to go.
I think that's why they give the tokens instead. So you've got like a 12-hour or 1-day build token, or 12-hour. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of the incentive. Instead of giving you a ship or whatever, they give you tokens instead. But it still means that you're having to pick your own brains to see what to put on it with what tech you have.
See, I think the pace of the game is what causes a lot of the problem, right? I mean, again, going back to Vega, you've got this, like, there's a guy in Vega called Manny, right? Manny Gaming.
I know Manny.
Yeah, and he does, like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tutorial videos out there showing people how to build fleets with low-end tech that can auto this level, or that level, or the other level. And he can do that in Vega because it doesn't change with the rapidity that Battle Pirates does. With Battle Pirates, if you were to release a video today saying, well, this is what you need, low-end tech, and this will get you through this, within a couple of months, that video is no good anymore, and you've got to keep doing them. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what messes things up a little bit.
Okay, well, how about then, right? You're out on the world map, you click a target, whether it be a level 51 salvage, a level 85 weekly, or a Drake uranium base. You click that target, and when you click it, a pop-up comes up, the pop-up saying, attack now, but next to that is a button saying recommended fleets.
Yeah.
And you click that button, and it shows you, it gives you like a list of fleets that recommended builds to hit that target.
There's no point. That's just a waste. The whole point of that is that's just something extra on the map. If there was something actually in your base that you could click on, and it says it had suggested builds, and it said this, you could do this, you can do that. Do you know what I mean?
Like a sub menu when you click in your outpost and it brings up a sub menu, and then you can say like weekly targets, and you click that, and it takes you into a list of ships.
When I started the game, I remember there used to be videos. I don't know if they're still there. I can't find them. I've just looked. Tutorials. There they are. They're in that button next to our button. Yeah, you know what I mean? You click on it, it says Battle Pirates Help. You've got your base, ships, world map, and battle. So that's basically how you navigate, strategies, control. There's that, but these are so outdated. Mm-hmm. And in the ships bit, there is actually a ship statistic bit. But again, it's so outdated.
The problem you got with that is Swag, when he used to do his raid vids, he used to
about 3 years old, those videos.
Yeah, but he put up his ship builds as well. Nobody built those bloody ships, mate.
No, they were always terrible builds as well.
Yeah, so it's like having a pop-up saying from Kinks, if you do this build, but their builds and our builds, mate, do you know what I mean? There's a big...
Well, the problem is sometimes their builds and our builds gives the players a sense that maybe Kicksai aren't in touch with their own game, or at least that's how it used to be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's how it is now, but going back, over the years when builds did used to get posted, players would turn around and say, you don't know what the hell the game you're even making, if that's the fleet you would build.
Even if there was someone from the game, like, that done it either weekly for Kicksai, or there was something on the forums weekly that players... They used to do, like, they did not used to do competitions for, like, the best build or something on the forum.
The other problem is that there are lots of players out there that would happily say, here I can do a build with really low tier tech that can do stuff, but they're not going to actually spend the money to coin that build just to do an informational video for other guys to watch. What I think needs to happen is, like I said, like a test server type scenario where you're basically giving the players that are willing to do that a chance to do it for no cost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
for
used
me,
to
Do you know,
David,
do you know,
I
do you know what
used
I'm
to,
saying?
I used to do videos like that. I used to do testing videos every raid, and I think one raid I spent 10,000 gold doing
Yeah,
a
well,
test
that's what I'm
video.
saying. It'd be nice if Kixeye, if they provided a way that players who were willing to do that could do it without taking it in the teeth. Do you know what I mean? And that would,
Well, just
I
like that
think,
comparison between UAV, I did that one on the preview server because it didn't cost me any real money.
yeah, and I think they'd
Hi, Ren.
find that there were a lot of people that were willing to do that if it wasn't going to cost them a fortune to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing on the
That's
preview.
true.
I must admit. I mean, I know my alliance isn't massive, but I lead my alliance. As we've been together now since they first started, never lost a guy. So I know every fleet they've got. I know all their levels. I know what's in their dock, and then I was in the last two previews, and I built the best of each of almost the average fleet for each of the group levels at their level, and then I went and tested different targets, and then I could feed back to my alliance which of their fleets was most capable to hit what level target. So they didn't waste money, or they didn't try to fit something they just wouldn't have the time to fit. Build it around what they had at the time so they can complete to a certain, a reasonable level, so that there was a realistic target for them to aim for and a number of points for that raid. So if it was just to get, I don't know, 3 million points, at least they knew that actually I was upfront and honest with them, and we've known each other for a long time. So if I say 3 million points is your target and that's your aim, and you've got 7 days to get it, and all he's got is a battle cruisers or something, he knows that it's if he's going to do the chair time, he'll get it. If not, he's not going to get it, because I know every single one of my players. I know every single fleet they've got in their dock, and I know exactly what they can hit and what they can't hit.
It shouldn't
And
be.
I think you're touching on a good point there because we were talking. Gotta remember, Battle Pirates is a social game, right? I think Liam mentioned people who don't like Facebook or anything. But if you don't join an alliance, if you don't check at least one of the pages out there, the communities out there, you're not gonna get that kind of information from Kixeye because, like someone else said, they don't always know better. I mean, imagine you were a new player and you got all excited when they came up with the magma throwers or the blaze throwers, and you built something like that. One of the most useless weapons ever, right? Or even now, scatter guns. I mean, are they that useful, or are they a very specific niche weapon? I mean, there are fads and there are tried and true and tested things like missiles. Like we know missile fleets always work, cannon fleets always work. I mean, they always have a use in the game. You go down to those weird things in the corner, rockets, scatterguns, throwers. They don't always work. Usually a waste of time. For up and coming players, I mean, if you have money and time, they're fun, right? For 2 months.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying.
There is a lot of niche fleets, like.
Perhaps there's too many options available. Perhaps like this structure that they did last raid, where they kind of put the prizes down a linear path and said, "Look, win this and put this on it." And from what I can see in the community, most players did, and most players are doing dubs for next to nothing. Perhaps if that's a system they stuck with, perhaps in 6 months' time there'd be a lot less confused players and a lot more people building fleets right.
Yeah, but that's not going to help the small guys, mate, because the points for the small guys are so low they can't achieve that tech, mate.
So they've made the game's become good. Like they've done a lot of good, positive things for the game. The problem is the low levels. For the only people really benefiting from it right now is the people that have the ability to get that tech. The players down below that can't get up to that tech level aren't really reaping the benefits of the changes they've made.
Like,
do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
For a high-level player, like, the game is awesome for you guys just now. Like, I see everyone out with their fleets and hitting things, and for people in my position, it sucks. Like, I just have to sit and try and grind for things, and there's nothing I can really do until I can build that fleet. And then my fear just now is when my rhinos are done, is there something else that's going to be out, or are they going to upgrade the way the Forsaken missions are done? Are they going to change the way the uranium bases are done that I can't do them anymore with that fleet? So am I going to have to start again and build something else completely? So I think everything, from my perspective, I feel that everything comes out too fast or everything changes too quickly. And another point I wanted to talk about was the alliance feature with low levels. Like, I feel that being in an alliance, I constantly get targeted, so I can't get anything done, which forces me to then drop my tag. But if I drop my tag, I don't get help. Do you get what I mean?
I've got 6 guys in my alliance that don't have a tag, but they're in my alliance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know dogs used to do this very well. I have to say, you know, I've got quite a few friends that were in dogs and that sort of stuff, and they had subgroups. And I know Pinless do that sort of stuff, and so do some others. You know, you don't get into the elite group because you're just going to get smashed 24/7. So you go into one of the subgroups, you learn, you're educated, you bring yourself on, and then from there, then you can jump once vetted almost into the elite tier basically. But there aren't many alliances that do that, I have to say.
Well, perhaps there could be something put into the alliance feature that allowed us player, because obviously staying current is very easy, catching up is near impossible. That's kind of where the game is. Maybe if there was an ability that, you know, there was a bracket for any of the alliance leaders in there, you'll know that you can shuffle people around in the bonus system. Or perhaps we could shuffle our lower levels into a bracket there, into a bonus scheme, where they would get, you know, reduced refits, reduced ship builds.
I think one thing I'd say as well is, why can't we give our old ships away?
Yeah, that would
make
be
some
amazing.
difference.
I'm scrapping ships now because I don't use those ships because there's nothing I need them for. But I know like Loose could use them. Why
I
can't
just scrapped my Force Sabers, mate.
Yeah. Why
Even
can't
if you
I
could send like one
Force
ship a week.
Sabers are awesome.
Exactly, like, you know, but why can't we give our ships away to, I don't know, but it's just been a complete waste of time, like.
Yeah, like in, I mean, that's the road crews, not the road crews. You know the ships we sent, the mercenary fleets.
Yeah.
Completely waste of time, completely useless. A feature in the game that no one uses anymore. You know, it's meant to be a social aspect. You send people resource crates, you send people mercenary crews. Well, why not make it we could send players one ship a week? You could only allowed to send one a week.
A gift package.
A gift, a gift.
And a kit meatball.
And not like they did before, where you could send them a pre-built ship for 500 coins or whatever it was. I'm talking about just sending them a ship out of your base, yeah.
Yeah, that you've had to pay for, but instead of scrapping it, we get the benefit from it.
Exactly.
I think that would be a major recoding effort. I mean, imagine if you want to give somebody a ship that has a whole bunch of specials and weapons they don't have. I mean, how's the game going to validate that? Because somebody now is going to have a ship with weapons, specials, and stuff they don't have unlocked.
Maybe it takes it off.
It's very massive.
Yeah.
How about it just gives them the blank hull built?
That'd be
Okay,
awesome, right?
that'll be cool. Or give them the whole plus whatever things they already have unlocked.
Or it strips.
Yeah,
it
that
strips
would work. That
everything.
would work. Whatever text on the hull that they already possess stays on.
Yeah.
But if they don't have it, it goes off.
I like
And you
that
have
idea.
to have the blueprint before. No, actually, then that wouldn't work, would it? If you had to have the blueprint. Because
Yeah,
that
that's
means
what we're
if you
saying.
just had. No, right. I thought you were talking about the specials and armor and stuff.
If you didn't
What
have
if
the
you don't have
blueprint,
the-
you wouldn't get
Yeah,
the whole.
Right,
if you didn't have the blueprint for the specials and armor, then you wouldn't, they would come off the hull.
What
So
if you didn't
get-
have the ship blueprint?
Well, no, you should be able to get the hull then. I mean, why do you need the hull if you've already got the blueprint? Surely you've already started
But
building.
what she's saying is, say I wanted to send her a Kodiak and she didn't, because she hasn't yet won the Kodiak blueprint.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That you.
The
No,
ship
that-
itself.
But if she had won the Kodiak blueprint, she would have built the Kodiak, so she wouldn't need your Kodiak.
But I'm a low level, so I haven't built them yet. You know what I mean? Like, what if Liam wants to send me his Punishers? I don't have Punishers.
Yeah, I don't know if they do that though, because again, you're hitting them in the pocket, man.
And I'm saying that
if you've just won, you've been waiting for this new fleet, and you've just won the print, and then he's going to send you the hulls already built. What motivation have you got to coin anything?
I'd
Yeah.
probably
By the
coin
way,
all the
principle
specials and the
behind
armor.
the old mercenaries, that was the principle, right? If you remember, the mercenaries
Mhm.
would always be the best tech you had. So we had a fleet good for 12 hours of the best researchable tech you had, right?
So why
If
not?
you're going to start giving ships away, either they have to be only like good for 12 hours, like the mercs, or they have, if they're permanent, they have to be something the player already has, because otherwise it's a nightmare of people now being able to run stuff they don't have unlocked.
Mhm.
If hackers are a problem now, imagine after we implement something like that, where people can have permanent ships and weapons and stuff they haven't unlocked yet.
You know what would be cool? The Merc fleets need revamping, I think.
Exactly.
Right? You know what would be cool
And the gifts
is
as
if I could lend Lucy one of my current fleets for 24 hours, and I wouldn't have access to that fleet while she has it. But after 24 hours, it comes back to me. That would be quite cool.
And it wouldn't come back alive, it would come back dead.
Well, yeah, it would be kind of like taking a risk situation. Like you could give that player what they need for 24 hours, they get what they need to do done, and you come back, and it's kind of like, yeah, I helped you out, and I paid the repairs for it.
Yeah, I'll take the repair.
Yeah, I'll take the repair to help out plenty of people.
But what
That would be awesome.
as Cinnabon just made a good point in the YouTube chat, she went hackers would then send out hacked hulls.
But surely that would it would block that.
Well, I was going to say, surely that would be a lot easier for them to detect.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That'd be awesome. I just go and kill everything. That'd be great.
I still think that the gap between the things that a lower tech player would have and a higher tech player would have, like if you send Lucy probably even one Punisher, like that'll do everything that she could ever want and maybe a little more, like with one ship. So I think
what I was trying to, I weren't sending her the biggest, baddest, newest fleet, but it's like fleets that I don't use that are like a year old.
maybe if there was a time since release like parameter on it.
Has to have been in your storage for a certain amount of days or something.
I still think that the better way to fix this problem would be to bring the researchable and a lot of the campaign winnable tech, maybe introduce some new ones a little closer to what they feel the average is, because a lot of the complaints and probably why we're doing this is the raids and such, they're so difficult for the low-level players that can't get access to that upper tier of tech. If they were to bring what a lower level could get more in line, I think that would do better than this. And this is really cool, the whole lending ships idea. I just don't think it would happen.
It would be nice to see them update the research stuff, actually, because let's face it, who even a low level, who uses hammerheads? Who uses, other than for res gathering, who uses FFs?
I still use hammerheads and maulers.
Yeah, see, I couldn't find a single use for hammerheads. I don't know what I would do with them other than opening salvage. Anything else in the game?
I've never built them ever. Never built hammerheads. Never built floating fortresses.
And it'd be nice if they brought out a couple of new hulls that maybe had some deflection. And put them in the research lab. That would solve a lot of problems for the lower levels, I think.
I said that. I've been saying that for a long time.
There's quite a lot of
update
things.
the research lab, because there's nothing. A lot of the holes in my research lab, I just researched them because it was like OCD. I just wanted to research them because they needed researching.
Yeah.
I never built any of them.
There's a lot of older Forsaken hulls out there as well, which could be moved there, like the Crusaders and
Mercury.
Stingray. Yeah. Merc's a good one, yeah.
Here's an idea.
Sawfish.
What they did a long time ago. I don't know if anyone remembers the very first raid where they released the Hammerhead A. But what they did was they had an improved version of a ship, and they put a kind of a balanced out version into the researchable. So what they could do that with a lot of different ships, like Tritons, Mercuries for sure, Mastodons maybe even with a little downgraded retargeting range or the.
But I'd still like to see a deflection hull go in there.
Yeah, I think it's easy.
It doesn't have to be high deflection, but reasonable deflection.
Like 150.
Yeah, something.
That'd be great.
I like both.
It's easy for players to get Tritons and even MCX. They're all on tier 1 now, anyways. And, I think the big challenge is not getting those basics. I mean, I don't think putting them on the research, the naval lab there would solve anything. I think the big struggle for any new players is when they get to that level 50 checkpoint, right? Where now the basic hull, the Mercs and the Tritons and the likes don't do the job anymore. And they want to play like big boys because now they're all of a sudden hit by all the big boys. And making that leap it's almost impossible, and it's very frustrating.
Which,
I think it's the mid-level that needs attention. It's like, how do I go from Tritons and Mercs and whatever to the Punishers and Citadels and whatnot that all the cool guys have?
They need a stepping stone hole.
It's very frustrating, very hard.
They need a stepping stone hole that can get them from the non-deflection stuff to the deflection stuff. They need something in the middle.
Yeah.
Here's what I used to do. I used to have a fleet of Mercuries in my dock that they had 2 Siege Zs, 2 Hailstorm Bs, and 2 Phalanx Anti. And I would put an engine system, Solid Fuel Booster 3, and the MC3, I think. And they would go in and do 65s. They would do like 4 65s in a row for the weekly before I had to repair them. And I had 2 fleets of those, and they're very easy to build. They're like a week in like 3 hours.
I did have the same fleet, mate, and it was a great fleet.
Okay.
Go on, then.
So guys, we've gone past the hour mark, and what we'll do is I'll go up across the panel and I'll ask you guys one question and just all try and give a very brief answer, and then we'll go into end the show. Is that okay? So what could Kickside do? One small thing. Let's try and get as many different ideas out there as we can. What could Kickside do to make the game a better place, an easier place for lower to mid levels? Let's start with Brian.
Better tutorials and information about ship stats in the shipyard in-game. This has to be accessible in-game.
Okay. Wendy, you are saying higher points on raids, and I agree with that one. David?
I think a deflection hole that's researchable.
Okay, I like that. Is it Logan?
Yeah. I think they should do a kind of Facebook Alliance page thing where you can post your builds for your Alliance members.
Right, okay. Like a build page in the forums, you mean?
Yeah.
Or
like for like in Alliance mixed, because you know the Alliance tab in the game.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They could have a tab within that tab that your Alliance members could post a link to a build or just post the build itself.
I get you. Like a sort of group chat where you could just share builds in the game.
Yep.
Lucy?
Yeah, I thought you were going to go to Ren next, sorry. Okay, so I have a few things. Introducing more hulls into the Naval Lab, more updated hulls. Replacing the mercenary fleets with something cooler, like the system we talked about with lending hulls or without scrapping ships, that sort of stuff. Introducing gifts back into the game, because the gift stuff doesn't work anymore. You know, if you want to send someone 100 gold, it doesn't work. Introducing that. And adding the ship suggested builds, something in either in-game or more specifically in the shipyard.
Okay.
That's me.
Mark?
For me personally, I think the quick win would be probably put the HC into T3 and then retrofit to R5 and extra deflection. That would change the game instantly.
Nice. Ren?
I think get the Crusader that they made available recently at a low price and now builds much faster. Put it in the retrofit lab and give it 200 deflection or 250 deflection for both siege and assault.
Another good hull.
Nice. Yeah, I like that as well. Just good
And
idea.
then offer the Crusader again on next raid after do that.
Dirt cheap, yeah. Monster?
I think base level caps should be looked at again. And some sort of boot camp vid each week on the forums would help of how to do this with a fleet, or what fleet would be best to do the FM, like for lower level guys. Like,
I think Ren does that already.
Sorry, and Trent, I don't know, has Trent got a microphone or?
Yeah, I'm here.
And what would be your suggestion, Trent?
Well, exactly what Dave said. A researchable
deflection holes, and not only that, but like during raids, like say you can't spend any more points during the raid, you should be able to gift it to like one of your alliance members, the extra points you can't spend.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That's
And
a
would be great.
point.
And get yourself a kick-ass cowboy hat just like him.
That's some great.
But no,
some great, sorry, go on.
I was just saying, last raid I did 115 million, and I could only spend like 85 million of it, and the rest just went to shit. And I think you should be able to gift it to people.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Maybe cut the gift in half.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they're not getting all of your points, and you can just like do
Or
the
put a
raid.
cap. I mean, you can only give up like $1 million to each player. Spread the happiness.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's some sound. I mean, for me, I would say I think that you guys have really hit most of the nails on the head already. But I think adjusted refit times. I know it's something that's already been adjusted. We've had 2 good months of it. Keep it up, because you're adjusting the technology for holes that are coming out at that time, but there's a lot of key tech that from before that needs to be adjusted, not just for the new shiny toy, but for chore fleets. Lucy's Rhino story is a prime example. 20 days of ship is not right for that. So yeah, adjusted refit times for older stuff. Keep up what you were doing, and we'll probably be all right over the next couple of months if you get all the areas covered. So yeah, just keep that up. Really is a good suggestion for me. Well, guys, it's been a long talk. You know, we've had a good discussion here about this, and I think we've had some great feedback and hopefully some information KIXEYE can use. And I know they do watch the videos, so thank you everyone for taking part. And most of all, thank you to everyone who's watching and everyone who supports us in the page. We're really enjoying the show and really enjoying the community. So we'll keep up the good work as long as you keep watching.
And happy Easter.
Yeah, of course, happy Easter, and thanks to everyone that come out on a Sunday night, on Easter Sunday, to watch the show. I know it's more of a holiday for most people. So for all you sober people that made the show, well done, and for all you drunk people, I'm jealous. So.
Thank the Lord, I'm about to get my boy.
So great show, guys. Thanks, everyone, and we'll catch you Tuesday. I'm not fully sure what we're going to hit Tuesday. I know Ren's got his base clinic coming up. David is going to start introducing a ship build segment. Right, so Ren does the base clinic. Ren does the base clinic. And Gadget's going to do a fleet of the week. It's called Gadget's Fleet of the Week.
This is the first time you're
And of course, if you're going to kick the ass of my bases, I mean, that's just given.
Yeah, so every week, Gadget's
Go Gadget Ship.
Go Gadget Ship. There we go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Go Gadget Ship. So
you suck, man.
Gadget of the week.
And guys, you know, I want you to come out and criticize David's builds, okay?
Insector, at least you're not slide girl and you have to sit and do the slides. So count yourself lucky.
Locked in the bedroom.
Yeah. David, I only have one more Punisher to build, brother. One.
Woo.
So guys, we'll catch you Tuesday, and we'll have a fun-packed show. I imagine we're probably, knowing KIXEYE, going to get slapped with a gigantic update. So, you know, same as the last 3 weeks. So we'll see you Tuesday for that.
Say goodbye to Wendy.
Good night, everyone, and happy Easter.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.